Friday, May 15th, ladies and gentlemen, and oh my god, I actually thought, honestly, that this was gonna be a boring week. Well, was I wrong? Not only did we see an impressive tech demo showcasing Unreal Engine 5 for a real next-gen vibe, but we also got to see 15 minutes of gameplay of Ghost of Tsushima at Sony's latest State of Play. Before we go ahead, let's get to some minor news first. In a recent financial presentation, Capcom declared their objective for this current fiscal year. They say that they want to achieve the record of 28 million units sales. And they intend to do that with the release of multiple major titles, as well as backlog catalog sales. This instantly got me excited, as I am hoping for a Resident Evil 8, as well as maybe a Monster Hunter, and why not Dino Crisis remake? Please, Capcom, please. One thing that we got to mention though is that Capcom planned 13 SKUs. Resident Evil 3 took 3. There are 10 left, and what this means is that we will be seeing less games being released this fiscal year if compared to previous fiscal years. Well, nonetheless, it's not always about the quantity, is it? Moving on, just a few days back, Activision announced the remake of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. And you know what? I'm looking forward to this, as a kid I spent countless hours on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1. They updated their game engine for this, and we hope that this will reflect on gameplay and not just better graphics. One thing's for sure, the stellar soundtrack will be back, and we are super stoked about this. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 will come out September 4th. And of course, this applies to current generation consoles, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, as well as PC. Let's talk Ghost of Tsushima. The 15 minutes of gameplay showcased by Sony and Sucker Punch actually did show a very pretty looking game. And this is not news by any stretch of the imagination, we knew this. In terms of exploration, as far as I understand, gusts of wind will lead the character throughout the map to discover various locations and points of interest. So if I've got this right, this means that we will have a more organic way of exploring the map in Tsushima, and you know what? I'm down for it, because it means we get a more immersive experience. Combat also looks amazing. You're basically left with two options. Either you go right via the front door, slashing your way through a bandit camp, or if you prefer a more stealthy approach, you play as the Ghost. One thing I thought was left a little unclear is those samurai standoffs. Are they just about the looks, or do they actually give you some benefits or influence the game in some way? Photo mode looks neat, and I am really looking forward to the kind of grainy, black and white, cinematic looking filter that you can turn on. Last but not least, the game does have a Japanese original dialogue options with subtitles, of course, and you can turn this on right off the bat, even before the first scene starts rolling, and I'll definitely do that. Let me leave you to your thoughts and comments about the gorgeous looking tech demo of Unreal Engine 5, which by the way is titled Lumen in the Land of Nanite. As I said, it's been pretty much not a boring week. Lots of stuff happening, and this is mainly because we talked about it last week briefly. I think we did this thing, right? The Summer Game Fest. Jeff Keighley put together a list of events, or better yet, a schedule of events, going all the way through to August, and there's something new like every week pretty much. But before we move on to this, I gotta say Claudio this morning passed me something which is pretty hilarious. So there's a tour agency, there's a travel agency in Italy called Alpi Tour. And on their Facebook page, they've posted this picture, and I'm gonna translate. Basically this is saying that there's not, a video game cannot match reality in this case, right? A video game cannot get you to the beach, and into holidays and all that. Now, although I do agree with this statement, yes, going to the beach is always good. Actually, CD Projekt Red, Cyberpunk 2077's developers have replied to Alpi Tour saying, okay, well, this summer enjoy the beach, of course, in total security, because from September on you'll be busy in Night City.
I must say, this was such a social media fail, though, because if you scroll down, actually, all the first, 50 comments are of either video games, Facebook pages, or even software houses, Facebook pages just commenting, and basically trolling them.
Yeah, and then also, of course, after CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk, also Bethesda pitched in, and actually they posted something about Doom as well, so... pretty hilarious to read the comments. Most importantly, we finally got some gameplay, or well, better than gameplay, a tech demo of what Unreal Engine 5, which is the next engine from Epic coming out in 2021, will be capable of for next gen, and I was left speechless. So this is what they've showcased, and honestly, this was a true next gen feel for me. Just by looking at the environment, like, I don't know if you guys have seen it, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's no texture popping anywhere. Like, everything is sharp.
Oh yeah.
And there's no popping anywhere in the distance. Even if you look in the distance, the draw distance seems so impressive. Like, it doesn't seem to be loading anything.
Yeah.
As well as
I thought it's actually I watched the video where they're presenting it.
Yeah.
And it's just like movie graphics, like the Star Wars, whatever movies that play with the artificial graphics.
Yeah.
They use the same quality. So I mean you can actually tell here. So it's exactly like watching a movie. Yeah. And one other impressive thing is they have programmed like the audio simulation of all audio events. So they actually echo, let's say, according to the space geometry.
Yeah.
So, it's impressive. I mean, everything is going more and more towards like physical laws implemented in video games. So everything is at a realistic level that is impressive.
Yeah. I mean, that's how you use reverb. As you just pointed out, to be honest with you, also they did that, the same thing with lights. They've got a technology called Lumen. Even the scarf, I was impressed by the scarf she's wearing, because they kind of like basically simulated the physics of how a scarf would move.
Mm-hmm. That is actually, that is such a small thing, but it's such a good, such an amazing thing to do, because I've always thought like clothes on any game character is always kind of lacking.
Yeah. Like
that's something I've always wanted to like see a massive improvement on that. You're right, it does look incredible, like just the scarf.
Unfortunately, this is not a game. This is just, this is a mini game just for us to see what Unreal Engine, well, not us, but the developers, Unreal Engine is capable of. So unfortunately, this game's not going to come out, which is a shame, because it does look really, really good. I would love to play something like this. Now, bear in mind, all of you, this is not CGI. This is literally being played in a PlayStation 5 dev kit. So you're basically seeing what PlayStation 5 will be capable of.
Yeah.
As well as Xbox Series X. Yeah. Unreal Engine 5 is it's an engine available for multiple platforms, even iOS. Mm-hmm. So this is basically truly next gen. One interesting thing is that Epic actually spent words, not that we needed to know from them, but spent words about Sony's PlayStation 5's SSD, basically remarking how crazy fast the SSD speed as in reading and writing speeds are in that sense.
Wow.
And so just confirming what we did know already. Now, of course, for those of you who do not know who Epic is, they own a lot of things, including a very, very small game, Fortnite. Why am I bringing Fortnite into this? Because Fortnite is going to be moved into Unreal Engine 5. They've already said it in 2021. One thing that I found really interesting is that Unreal Engine 5 is obviously free as Unreal Engine 4. People can use it for free. And then once they publish a game, obviously there are royalties that Epic gets off of the sales of the game. And they actually declared that in terms of an Unreal Engine, royalties are going to be waived on the first $1 million, if I understood this correctly, in-game revenue per developer. So that means that a lot of smaller teams and independent developers are going to actually really benefit off of this, which is a great move from Epic, just putting a little bit more money into small teams' pockets, basically.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. One thing is for sure, this is just the tip of the iceberg of a steaming hot summer full with announcements. So rest assured and fasten your seatbelts, you're gonna hear way more in the weeks to come. This coming Sunday, we'll be heading back to the PlayStation 1 era with our favorite games from that generation. So if you're up for a little bit of nostalgia, well, why not joining us? I wish you have a great weekend and hopefully see you Sunday.